Hello, hi, YouTube people. Welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Okay, we're not redoing that intro because I've already done it too many times today. Today we have an unboxing, and as you can tell, I am just back from work, but packages are in, so it's time to unbox them. We've got two big boxes here. And not everything we're going to be unboxing is EDC or knife related, but I did want to unbox all of it anyways to share with you guys because I have some questions to ask you guys. So stay tuned for those, I guess. My hair is a royal disaster. Whatever. I'm going to shower after this anyway. So, this first box, I have no idea what's in here, but it is super light. So, big box, super light. Let's see what it is. Today we will just unbox things with the Cold Steel SRK that I was carrying at work today because on this channel we're badass men. Interpret that however you want. Alright. Okay, hope I wasn't flashing my address everywhere. That's okay. I'm too tired to care right now. I'll just edit it out. Okay. What? That's what was in this box. What? Okay, well there's some Loctite I ordered. I really expected that to just be in a little Amazon baggie or something, but... Okay then. That is... Look at this. This box is now made with less materials. Yeah, but you used all of this to package something that you could have just shipped to me in an envelope. Oh well, I guess now we have some more cardboard that I can use for cutting videos. That was really odd. Okay, let's get into this other box, which is... got the interesting stuff in it, and it's much, much heavier. So, let's get in here. Yes, as you can see, all this stuff is from Amazon. Had some Amazon gift cards that I needed to use up. And you bet I did. So, this is what we got. Wow. What is this? Oh, okay. Put that over there for now. Okay, set this on the floor. You know what? We'll just do it in the lap. No, set it on the floor. We'll set it on the floor. And there are some knives in this that I want to check sharpness on. So, oh, look. I have paper here. Wow, I am, like, prepared today. Which is very odd, especially since I just came back from work. And I'm never prepared for anything, so... Hooray, guys. Okay, so first, let's get the boring stuff out of the way. I ordered myself a new microphone to use for different things. I've been trying a bunch of different microphones. This is a little lapel mic. I've had several of these before. Never tried this brand before, but we'll see how that works out. Where do we want to go next? There's some good stuff in here. Okay. You know what? We have two sin cuts on top. Let's get into the... You know what? We are going to set that on the ground, and, yes. Okay, let's get into these sin cuts. Alright guys, sorry about that quick cut. I I had to sort some stuff out. Okay. Just had to do some computer stuff. Are you sure I want to close this program? Continue scanning. Whatever. My computer's doing stuff. Okay, anyway, so where we left off. Syncuts. And I had this on the floor because I wasn't going to do this on my lap, but okay, back on the floor it goes. Alright, what's this one? This is the Syncut Tainan. Alright, so I'm actually pretty excited for this one, okay? Little snack. I'm a big fan of budget frame locks. I know some people don't like steel frame locks and stuff, but I'm a big fan. That's one of the reasons I like Kershaw so much. I think they're cool. I really do. And, well, before we get into this one, a few months ago, I actually ordered the, what's it called? The Civivi Perf? Yeah, like as in perforations. And I was filming an unboxing, and I never posted it because I just hated the knife. I just hated it. I got out of the box, the detent was crappy, it felt cheap, it was just awful. And it wasn't even bad to the point where I could make fun of it and post a comedically bad video. It was just, no. No. Just no. And so I actually got rid of it, like the next day I sold it to a friend of mine for like 25 bucks. And I'm sorry, Jake. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just given it to you. I'm sorry I took your money, but no refunds. Okay, so Syncut. They now come in Civivi pouches. Syncut and Civivi, the lines between them are starting to get really, really blurred for me, but I have been enjoying Syncut a lot more than Civivi. You guys know how I feel about Civivi. I feel like a lot of their designs are just really repetitive and at this point kind of boring to me. But Syncut, I've been really interested in a lot of the stuff they've put out, and yeah, the Tainan is one of them. So nowadays with Syncuts, you get little Civivi style propaganda, and you get a blue microfiber cloth. I'm actually a big fan of that. You guys know how I feel about blue, so it's a big win in my book. Good job, Syncut. And here is our Tainan. I looked up the name of this when I ordered it, and it means dusty. And I think it's a Gaelic name. Not sure. Maybe I'll annotate on the screen. But it's a little bit smaller than I thought it would be. I went for the blackened steel. Alright, let's see that detent. Please be good. A little bit of oil on there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That is snappy. Holy cow. All right. Very comfortable. Oh, I like the little milling they did there on the lock bar release. That's pretty cool. No over travel stop. That is interesting. Perfectly centered. It's got that Civivi style clip that I don't really care for. They work great, excuse me, in and out of the pocket, but I don't really care for them in hand. Nice little weight to it for such a small knife. You don't get a whole lot of sharpened edge, but man, that is comfortable. Blade steel on this. Tin CR15, so basically VG tin. I like that steel. Civivi used it on a couple models, and I like that steel a lot, actually. I think Civivi did a good job with it, so. Ooh, the etching there on the logo, it's like not like a smooth lasered on, like it's got texture, like I can feel it, like it's a little bit raised above the finish of the blade. That's cool. This blade is, I mean, from far away, it kind of looks like a pretty basic, normal look blade. I don't know. Something about it. Got a really nice acute tip, mostly all belly. It's very thin, but the ergonomic lines are good. Maybe bearing down, there'd be some hot spots. Yeah. Yeah. First impressions, though, I'm impressed. I actually really like this. a lot. Like, a lot. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that blade shape. I don't even know what it is about that blade shape. Like, it's... I don't know. Something about this knife is, like, calling to me. I don't know what it is. I really like this knife. I really like this knife. So, okay. All right, we better get moving on. But, that's a really cool knife. I definitely see myself really carrying that a lot when I'm, like, at school, you know, college and stuff. That's really cool. It's got enough weight to, like, have a presence, but it's not, like, you know, a heavy object. And it feels good in the hand. It's just... Get back over here, you. I don't know, something about it. Okay, we're gonna stop, but I don't know. Usually I don't like a knife this much just off of first impressions, but I'm like really liking this knife right now for some reason. I don't know why, but okay. Look forward to the review coming, knowing me, like 6 months to a year from now. Okay, we better move on. Alrighty, the next knife from Cincut. By the way, their boxes are new too. I like the blueness of it. See, Cincut's just... They're just doing everything right for me. They must know that I really like them. Maybe they're trying to kiss up to me. That's a joke. Okay, this one is called the... I just threw the case away like an idiot. Get over here, you. Oh my goodness. My knees hurt so much after work. The Brazoria. Now, I looked that one up too, and it's the name of a county in Texas. And Cincut's been doing that, naming a lot of their knives after counties in Texas, which is interesting. It's kind of unique. Maybe they're trying to appeal to an American audience. Although it's not just them, you know, like Tactile Turn, they have the Bear, which, you know, they're based in Texas. So that kind of makes sense. Speaking of Bear, you know, a lot of people get upset about the pronunciation of that if someone says Bexar or something. So growing up in New Mexico, I've taken Spanish in elementary school, middle school, high school. You know, people in my everyday life, my friends, people I interact with, speak Spanish. And, you know, somehow I'm not fluent in Spanish. It's probably a missed opportunity on my part, but I am fluent in Northern Mexico Spanglish, and I can understand Spanish when it's being spoken around me, but I guess I'm semi-fluent. I can also speak, I can get by in like regular conversation, but I had this one teacher this one Spanish teacher who would snap at you. She'd yell at you if you said Texas instead of Tejas, or Mexico instead of Mexico. And so, you know, pronunciations is important for some people. All right. Ooh, this is a chunky little guy. So, here we go. I have this, I like this burgundy micarta with black. We've got a Fuller clip point blade, which I'm a big fan of, G10. We've got external stops. Those are external, not internal. I have a video coming up about the difference between stop pins. Anyways, so again, it's a long time to get through this unboxing. This is going to be terrible. Anyways, let's give it a flip. Cincut. I was just praising you. Like, I was on a soapbox praising you. And the Tainan was just amazing. Perfectly tuned detent. And then you give me this Civivi-esque flip? Alright. So the detent is pretty light. Look at that blade. It's kind of interesting. Kind of like it's like a clip point that has a little bit of a... I know it's straight, but it feels kind of like rounded, like it's a little bit of an elliptical thing going down there. You know what? It might actually be. Yeah, it is a little bit rounded. It's interesting. D2 steel on this, which I haven't seen from Senka or Civivi in a long time. I don't mind D2, guys. I know a lot of people are sick of it. It's a good steel, especially on budget knives. I don't mind D2. And this knife here, it was pretty budget. Pretty smooth on close. Let's try that Fuller. Yeah, the Fuller flick works good. Ergos... average. Nothing amazing, but nothing like horrible, except, I mean, it has the same style of clip, which I don't like. That drop is pretty good. Yeah, that Fuller flick works okay. Detent on this just isn't very strong. Let's see if we can thumb flick it. Yeah, actually that feels like the best deployment method is thumb flick off that Fuller. Flat grind, I imagine it's gets down to a pretty dang thin edge. Not sure how I feel about this one. The action is not blowing me away. The ergos aren't blowing me away. And the blade, I don't know, there's something about the blade that I'm just not liking. I will have to test it and use it and figure out what it's all about. And the action, I mean, once you know its limitations, it's absolutely fine. But I still have my lamentations about it. Yeah. The G10 also feels kind of crappy. It reminds me why I haven't bought a Civivi in G10 in a long, long time. Because I think Civivi has some pretty crappy G10. And this feels very, very cheap. But it was like a $45 knife, which you're not going to find Civivis for that price anymore. Not new ones, at least. But maybe it just needs some oil. Let you guys have a good little look at that one. Reversible clips on both of them, so that's cool. Yeah, gonna have to spend some serious time with this knife and sort out my feelings on it. Alright, we are moving along way too slow. Luckily, the next... You know what? Let's get the big one out of the way. Actually, before we do that, I just realized that I've been forgetting to cut anything with the knives we've been unboxing. And also, I keep thinking something's wrong with my camera. I'm like... I keep trying to inspect it and, see what's going on, but I guess it's okay. Whatever. Okay, paper. Knife. That's just a weak detent. Ugh. What? There is like a single big burr on this edge running from... Oh, and there's like a little nick. Okay. This knife does not want to be friends with me. Alright, that is upsetting. Just making sure it's not hitting the standoffs. Okay. Now I'm pretty concerned about this one. I like you so much. Please don't disappoint me. Maybe it's just my paper. I mean, notebook paper can be a little bit finicky, but Here, let's pull out my knife from work. The knife I was carrying at work today, my folding knife, is this awesome Tucson. This knife has been used at work for a couple of days now, and I haven't really sharpened it, so... Wow, it's just digging right in. If I can stay in the cut. Okay, let's try a knife. This might need sharpened. I don't think so, though. Do I have a knife laying around here that has a new edge? This knife's been used a little bit too, but yeah. Okay, so... Okay, yeah, that's working a lot better. Well, I guess these sin cuts are going to have to take a trip to the stropping ferry. Okay, anyways, now let's get on to the main knife. Wow, this is going to be a very long unboxing video. And it is a... It's a Civivi. I know, guys, I know. I said that I wasn't going to look at very many Civivis this year because I'm just sick of them, and I looked at a lot last year. But, you know what? This one is I got for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of people kept asking me my thoughts on it. And I said, I don't know. I never handled it. But now I have it, and it is the Conspirator. Put that over there. So, another reason I got this is because I've been trying to test button locks this year. I've had mixed experiences with some. This one's been awesome, but I do have some button lock complaints with it, so I've just been trying to expose myself to as many button locks as possible. Right off the bat, this has a good weight to it. I like that. Feels very solid. I like the width of it. I like the micarta better than any G10. And another reason I got this is because it has Nitro V blade. I do not like Nitro V steel. And if you want full details on that, I have an entire video about that. You can check out my review of the Civivi bow. But I've just had bad experiences with Nitro V. And I've had some people jump all over me like, Nitro V is not bad. And I haven't had any real great experiences with it. The bow rusted, and it didn't hold an edge, and it sharpened like Play-Doh. And it rusted when I was in southern New Mexico, where there's like zero humidity and it's 110 degrees outside, and it somehow rusted. And I carried, in the woods, I've carried D2 knives, used them, gotten them wet and stuff, not cleaned them until I got home, and they're perfectly fine. Satin finishes on the blade, and then that knife rusted from who knows what. I think on that day, I was just using it. I think what happened was I had it out while I was eating my lunch, and I think I might have used it to... Anyway, I can't remember what happened. It was months ago. Check out the video. But then after that, I got some more Civivi Nitro V, and I just wasn't really impressed. The best experience I had with it was on the Imperium, and that knife just really wasn't for me. I didn't feel like that knife was a good testing platform for the steel. And then I've been carrying my Baby Banter a lot, and this is on its like third edge, I think. And the first two went really fast. This edge has been holding up pretty good, actually. I haven't had any issues too bad. It's felt hard, but you know, I want to give Nitro V another try, and I really want to test it out. And Civivi is using Nitro V nowadays, so had to go for a Civivi, right? Sorry for the weird cuts. My phone is on its last legs and only lets me film in certain intervals before it'll just cut me off, so bear with me. Anyways, let's finally get into the knife. Gosh. I am just really rambly today. Maybe I'm just tired. Maybe I'm just tired. Anyways, perfect centering, stupid Civivi clip. As you can see, green micarta, black blade. I think one of the main reasons my bow rusted was the finish on the blade. Civivi calls it a stonewash, but it's obviously a bead blast. And it's just, I hate that finish. It looks terrible. It feels terrible. It rubs off. And it I've had knives rust with it, so I've decided that if I'm going to get a Civivi, nowadays it's got to be either satin finished blade or a coated blade, which I think this is a black stonewash. Let's open it up and see. Okay, that felt good. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, see, the clip is not a big problem in this knife because the handle is broad enough. It's also wide enough. Oh, that feels good. That feels really good. I love that blade shape too. Ooh. Makes a pretty cool sound. Let's try that fuller. Okay. Little bit of side-to-side play, but not bad. The flip is not as thwacky and definitive as it is on my newly fixed, or my recently fixed Kaiser Baglighter XL. Well, it doesn't have as much button stick as that knife. Yeah, I like this. Let's go ahead and do a sharpness. My paper that's all over the place. Throw that over there in my trash. That's sharp. Yeah, that feels good. So, all right, there we go. The jimping up here is also really nice. I don't usually compliment Civivi on jimping, but they got it right on this one. Really nice drop point blade. Got some smudges there. I'm not going to wipe it off my shirt because my shirt is dirtier than anything. So, really actually impressed with that knife. Yeah, that's actually really cool. Can't wait to test that Nitro V and review it. Okay, next we have some interesting knives. Okay, first up, a Camillus. I like Camillus, guys. I think they're a cool brand. And, ouch! And, I wanted to get this knife to test. This is a very cheap knife. I think it was like $25. Use a Tainan. It's not the sharpest thing, as we discovered, but it's got a nice thin tip. Wow. Wow, this really is not all that sharp. Jeez. Making me sad. Okay. Excellent blade shape for opening clamshells, though, but not the sharpest thing I've ever seen. Okay, so right off the bat, this knife is a lot fatter than I was expecting, but this is the Voracious from Camillus. Get out of there! Release the beast! Okay, and it's chunkier but shorter than I expected. So here he is, Aussate blade, which again for the price is perfectly fine. Chunky little guy. Tonto with, oh my goodness. Okay. That is interesting. It has a hollow grind up here. And then it feels like a flat grind. That is interesting. It's thicker back here and thinner up here. Not a whole lot of Tontos do that. Let's check that action. Access to the liner is not that great. Centering is good. Blade to handle ratio is do-whack-a-doo. Wow. Little tiny clip. Plastic scales. Ouch. Ow. Are those internal or external stop pins on this one? Okay, yeah. It's got a solid detent. Can I flick it out using one of these holes? Yeah. Ergonomics are interesting. This is... Guys, I love weird knives. I love weird knives. And this is a weird knife. Look how chunky that is. Let's bring out the... You know, guys, I apologize. Watching my channel must be so weird for you guys because I'm more excited about this than I am this knife, actually. But, okay. there is the fat. Whoa. There's the fatness difference. Definitely a little chunker. Really interesting. That blade to handle ratio is just atrocious. It's atrocious. It's horrible. Ow! Ow! Crap! I keep hurting my finger. Need some jimping on the flipper tab. I can tell you that already. I'm making a paper mess all over the place. It's sharper than the Sin Cuts. Okay, that is a cool knife. Me likey. And we have one more knife to get to, guys. And then some other stuff. This video is too long. And this shirt is too hot. Take that off for a second. Alrighty. Next up, our last knife. I got this one just for the, just for shits and giggles, I guess. Get back over here, you. We're going to open it with the Voracious. So this is another cheap knife. This is a Vortec. Whoa, whoops. Excuse me. Let's try that again. This is a Vortec. Feel intimidated? You should. You should. Okay. Wow. Much wow. Okay, so what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I got this knife. This was like $25 knife as well. 8CR13 steel, but I got it because it looked like a gas station knife masquerading as an actual like hard use or enthusiast knife. Vortec. They send you a little certificate of authenticity. Everyday carry knives, built to last. It weighs about a pound. 5-star products, 5-star service. We know how important it is to keep our customers happy. If for any reason you do not think this product deserves a 5-star review, let us know. We're happy to work with you and address any concerns you might have about your new knife. Okay, don't care about any of that. Actually, I must say, it gives you some maintenance instructions, and it's actually written in legible English. Like, I can actually read it. Like, the grammar is half decent. It's not something you always get from these Chinese knives. So, first thing, there's this huge lanyard. I like doing fun stuff like this, guys. So, yeah, weighs as much as a star. Perfectly centered, though. Gotta give him that. Tip down carry clip. Not exactly deep carry. Not reversible. G10 that honestly feels better than the G10 that was on that Sin Cut. That's sad. I do like, actually, it's got like this very grippy texture, and it has more of a, I don't know, smooth texture right there. Looks like there would be, like, this is a cutout for like a, you know, if your knife has a thumb stud that kind of helps you find it. They said this is on bearings. Holy crap, this is heavy, guys. Like, jeez. But, interesting walk bar. Okay, let's get it open. Flipper tab. Ow! Oh, gosh. My poor finger today. Ouch. No jimping. You need jimping. Let's try this again. It's really awkward to get to the flipper tab. You like have to reach under this little ledge here. But it opens, and there's your blade. It says it was 8. Yeah, it says 8CR13 on it. Zoom in on that. Yeah, whatever. Sharpening woof, that's atrocious. Let's test the sharpness. If this is sharper than the Sin Cuts, sad. Okay, there's a decent slice. Still felt a little bit teary, but about the same as the Sin Cuts, honestly. Ouch. So there's this little fuller here that you can't get to when the knife is closed. Look at the release for the liner. Look at that. It's like a little thumb plate. Push that over. That detent is good. This knife has a good action. The ergonomics are not. Wow, it's just so heavy. So yes, I got this knife as kind of a joke to review, but, you know, I like doing fun stuff on the channel. Sometimes it's fun to pick up a cheap knife and just, you know, mess with it. Very interesting. I will say, it flipping that good has kind of, you know, I've been thinking about this for a while. Great action nowadays is not hard to come by. I remember, heck, even when I got into the knife community, or into the hobby, whatever, watching Nick Shabazz and watching, you know, how very few knives had actions that were placed in the great category of his reviews. And then eventually, more and more, and now, and he said it himself, you know, knives that years ago would have had an absolutely outstanding action, nowadays it's just par for the course. I think that's really, really interesting. It's really cool, and it makes crappy actions and detents all the more noticeable. So, yeah, wow, that is a brick. Holy crap. And this lanyard is something else. Maybe it's supposed to be a neck knife? That's coming off, I can tell you that right now. But, I don't even know what this knife is called. Vortec 8CR13 MOV Stabby Pokey Tactical Tonto. Austin would love this knife, actually. Unironically. Maybe I should just give it to him. Let him test it. Get Macho Man Austin back on the channel. Ugh. I think you guys have been enjoying those videos. Those are fun to make. Alrighty, so that's all the knives out of the way. So let's get into the rest of this stuff, and I have some questions to ask you guys. So, as you probably know, I have more interest than just knives. I'm slaving away to earn my degree to become a paleontologist, and I'm interested in. I've been studying geology as part of my degree, as you can tell from my beautiful specimens here. And yeah, I'm a huge fan of paleontology, as you can tell from all these models. And I've kind of incorporated a lot of that into elements of the channel, but you know, originally this channel came from my Instagram. Gideon Stuff was originally an Instagram page where I would just show everything I was interested in. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and so, you know, dinosaurs, Star Wars, I'd share my art and, you know, rocks, as well as my knives, and it was just kind of a hobby thing for me. And I started this channel, and this channel just kind of became knives, and which is fine by me. I love knives. But I have, you know, wanted to make other videos and stuff, and I've had other people, you know, tell me, hey, you know, you should do a video like this or like that, you know, talk about dinosaurs, talk about rocks. So the question I wanted to ask you guys is, would you be interested in seeing that kind of content? And if so, would you like it on this channel, or should I start another channel? Because, I mean, I don't really have, I'm not a huge channel, right? But, you know, there's pros and cons to both. You know, if I keep it all on one channel, that's only one channel that I have to keep track of. And, you know, you guys, if you're interested in seeing it, you already know that this channel exists, so here you are. But, you know, on the cons, this channel has built its audience on knives, on EDC gear. And so I don't want to kind of, alienate any viewers if, one day they're expecting an unboxing video and I post a video talking about Tyrannosauroids. And, that's the thing. If I start two channels, keeping track of two channels can be tough. Keeping track of this one channel, I keep myself on a schedule because I think that's the best way to do it. If I were to make, geology, paleontology related content, maybe even Star Wars content, probably not. But if I were to make other content on this channel, I could just slot it in for different times of the week. If I had another channel, I'd have to create an entirely new schedule to keep that one going. But, just, what do you guys think? I'll talk about rocks. I've done a dinosaur model review on this channel as just kind of an experiment like a year ago. That was kind of fun. But, I do some more of that. Yeah, so let me know down below. Because that's where we're going to get into the other stuff. So, here we have a model of the Safari Limited Megalodon. This is an older model. And I was never really interested in this model. I thought it was hideous. But I got it because I'm going to be using it in an upcoming review. Maybe the review's already come out by the time you see that. No, it'll probably be after this. So keep your eye out. But take the little plastic thing off. Take off the little... And some collectors leave these on. I hate them. Go away. And... okay, on the bright side, he's not quite as hideous in person as he is in pictures. He's still pretty cursed, though, in my opinion. Those are some big old chompers. But nice sculpt on the body. The paint application is fairly nice. So, yeah, Safari Limited Megalodon. Pretty cool. Dorsal fin is a little bit bent. Have to give that the hot water treatment. Okay. Next, another Safari Limited. This is one that I've been wanting to get my hands on for so long. T-Rex is awesome, but its popularity has just flooded the model market with just way too many T-Rexes. And there's a lot of other Tyrannosaurs that are really, really awesome that get overlooked. And my personal favorite Tyrannosaur is Gorgosaurus. I also like Bagroten. For some reason, we know hardly anything about it, but I don't know, I like it. But this is the Safari Limited Daspletosaurus. I believe this came out last year. That's noisy. But oh yeah. Yeah, this is good. I like their newer models quite a bit. Ooh. They gave him lips. I approve of that. Very, very nice. A lot of ways looks like a T-Rex, but Daspletosaurus was smaller, had a lot more gracile build. Also a little bit earlier than T-Rex, but very closely related. Yeah, look at that. Daspletosaurus. It's a good model. I have to find a place for him on my shelf. And the last model is one that I'm very, very excited about. Let's dig it out of the box. So this is a PNSO figure, Aubrey the Lambeosaurus. It's cool that they have names. I don't really care about that, though. I've just recently got into PNSO. Well, I guess it's been about a year that I've been collecting PNSO, and I have over there on that shelf. Those are where my PNSO figures are. But this one I was really excited to get because Lambeosaurus. I do not have enough hadrosaurs, or really ornithopods in general, in my collection. Ornithopods are woefully underrepresented in the model market. Let's see, I have a couple of Parasaurolophuses. This is going to be my biggest hadrosaur, but let's see here. I have 2 Parasaurolophuses, Parasaurolophusi, I'm just kidding. Don't say that. I've got an Edmontosaurus, a Griposaurus, and an Iguanodon. An Iguanodon's not a Hadrosaur, it's an Iguanodont, but it is an ornithopod, so... Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's grab my new favorite knife. And let's cut into this. In a lot of ways, I feel like Hadrosaurs and Ceratopsians, for anyone who doesn't know, Ceratopsians, like relatives of Triceratopsis, here is a Regaloceratops. I feel like Ceratopsians and Hadrosaurs are similar in the fact that most of them, with a few notable exceptions, have kind of the same body plan, but the differentiations lie in their head ornaments. And Ceratopsians are really popular to even, you know, just the general people, but Hadrosaurs, not a whole lot of people like them. Which, I mean, I'm a huge Ceratopsian sucker myself, so I can't really, I don't have a moral high ground, but... Okay. I like that PNSO sends these little... They've sent these little posters. That's kind of cool. And wow, this is a very thick booklet. Whoa, I haven't gotten a booklet like this with any of the others before. I've gotten some of the older ones. I haven't got PNSO in a while. So they've got a little skeletal diagram here. I'm pretty sure this is based on Lambeosaurus lambii. Although this one here, this looks like a drawing of a Lambeosaurus magna cristatus, I think is the name of that one. One of the bigger hadrosaurs. It's a Lambeosaurine, yeah. Oh! Has instructions on how to draw a Lambeosaurus. Ooh, this is actually really, really cool. Okay, then. Okay, enough of that. Sorry, sometimes my nerdiness gets the better of me. Yeah, oh, that is gorgeously detailed. Oh, that is beautiful. That is just beautiful. Absolutely magnificent. That, oh, that is gonna look so good on my shelf. All right, I have taken up enough of your valuable time with this unboxing, and I am in desperate need of a shower. So, we're just gonna leave it there. Let me know what you guys think. You wanna see other content on this channel? Should I start another channel for all that? Even if I do put that, you know, my other hobbies on this channel, they probably will not be as frequent as the knife videos. They'll probably be, you know, just every once in a while. But, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff we could talk about, geology and everything. So, yeah. If you want to see more of me and my hobbies, let me know. Although if you really want to see more of me, follow me on Instagram. I post about geology and paleontology all the time. And if you follow me on Instagram, you probably see me in my underwear. It's a long story. Look at my Instagram. But that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Got a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, reviews will be coming when they come. So, I've been Gideon. I'll see you in the next video.